we go. We are live. Are we live? We are live. We're live. How is Sean?
Well, that's a bonus that we're here and we're live. How am I? I think the weather has turned English.
That- that's a great way of describing it. I like
It
that.
is cold and damp, and typically right before Halloween, it either tanks or it gets really kind of nice. And more often than not, the weather tanks, and that's what we're seeing now. In fact, they are talking about snow next week.
Snow. Wow. There we
Yes,
go. So, in
not a
in the
small amount
Halloween
either.
theme, we have now got a Halloween themed stream.
We are themed. We are here. We know where we're at and what day is tomorrow.
Exactly.
It's the day that I get to wear my uniform and nobody looks at me weird.
So, is I know Halloween in the US is a massive holiday. Um, in the UK, we're starting to get that way now. It's starting to get a bit more commercial. What's Halloween like in Canada?
In Canada, it is very much like it is in the States, probably a little less on the violent side, but it does compare, and I still think we have better candy than they do.
Yes, yes, yes. So, so we've not had the American Thanksgiving yet, have we? But we've just had the
No,
Canadian
that's next month.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so typically we get Black Friday, Cyber Monday,
Yeah,
Thanksgiving, the Christmas sales, and all of that into New Year's, and then things kind of settle down a little bit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Speaking of Canada or Canada, we've just had the Canadian Hypnosis Conference.
That is correct. From all accounts, talked to Dan, I've talked to Tracy. In fact, Dan and Tracy were taking pictures and saying, "You better be here next year." It was a kind of a threat almost. You
Yes,
better be here next year. It sounded like they had an absolutely stellar conference, and good to see them back after a certain period of time. There's my
yes,
doppelganger. I
yes.
don't know why people think we look alike. Hang on, let me see if I can.
Oh, do you know what? Actually, yeah, yeah. Separated at birth.
I just have to grow my goatee out and paint it white. So, uh,
Yes,
but Richard Cole receiving the Canadian Hypnotist of the Year award, I think well deserved. Uh,
yes.
he has been active in the hypnosis community and actively promotes it as a regular lifestyle. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
Other
absolutely.
things.
It was great to see some friends of the news. So Dan Goyette got awarded a silver award for his contributions as well. So there's a few great people won some great awards there. So that is fantastic.
Yeah, and it speaks to accomplishment. It speaks to time in the field and the caliber of people that are there at the conference presenting and helping the profession grow.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's it's nice that this was a conference that kind of they had a bit of a break and they've come back and it looks like they've come back all guns blazing.
There, we don't both need to be in the dark.
I must admit, it's one that I definitely do want to get to next year. It
You
does
know
look
what? If I can swing it next year, the way things work out, I'll still get my days in lieu for that I use for PHS. But if I can swing it, I wouldn't mind getting out there either. It's been a long time since I've actually been in the Toronto and the GTA area. So right now they're going absolutely bonkers because the baseball team is in the World Series and winning the World Series could win all of it tomorrow night actually. So and if
wow.
that's the case, you'll see some pandemonium because they often don't get to cheer for their football team, their CFL football team, or the hockey team as much. So
Awesome, awesome.
yeah.
So Jeff Bennick, I believe he was at the Canadian conference.
He was, and he was already back in the States. We had him, of course, on the Hypnosis Hero podcast. Um, I will say this for Jeff. his depth of knowledge
Mm.
is not to be underestimated. He has taken hypnosis to a level of storytelling that I think would start to um, brush up against, if you were going to live theater, to a musical. He has really worked hard to go that extra little bit with what he knows about sound and audio, and I believe now he's also got a smell machine. I'm not going to
Wow.
call it a fart machine because I'm sure it gives off more than one smell. But creating an experience
Yeah.
instead of just going to see a couple things that are funny.
Yeah. And the
And
level of production he brings is just phenomenal. And that comes from years, of being a professional kind of sound tech and production crew. So he
yeah,
really does know what he's talking about.
yeah. So technical questions. If you have anything that you want to know that's technical, get a hold of Jeff. Like he is a behind the scenes genius that will help you when you're out in front look like an absolute rock star.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, he will. Jeff will also be at the Performing Hypnosis Summit as well in Vegas. So do get your tickets for that. That is fantastic. We should have the schedule locked in this week. It should have been this week,
Well,
but I
we're busy people.
exactly it's a bit crazy.
And yeah, we should. Once we do get it locked in, hey Jesse, I hope the weather's better in Outlook than it is here in Yorkton, but I gotta think probably not much. Um, the one thing I will say about the Performing Hypnosis Summit, because it happens every year, it seems like people want to wait until the absolute last minute to get their tickets and whatnot. Get your tickets.
Yeah.
Get your hotel room booked. I believe the booking link is on the screen or in the chat, one of the two. What You need to get your hotel rooms booked by the 21st of December, because after that the room booking discount is done and over with. So please,
I love that,
thank you,
Jesse.
thank you for putting it so delicately, Jesse.
Yes. Shout out to Jesse as well, who did a fantastic. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. I've been traveling and out and about, but Jesse did an amazing workshop for Aisha on kind of the business and marketing side of things, and he did a great job. The feedback that come back from that is unbelievable. So
Yeah,
for those that are Aisha members, then do check out these. What look like we now have weekly Tuesday Zooms. We have Richard Cole's Happy Hour. We have Terry Stokes' Imagination Labs. We have Michael Brody's kind of stage theatre production, and Jesse Lewis on business and marketing. Absolutely. If you're serious about performing hypnosis, then you need to get involved in that as well.
if you're serious about business,
Yeah,
I think sometimes we forget that, yeah, we're the entertainer, we're on the stage, we are the rock star to a certain extent, because we can get people to do different things and blah 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 blah, but there is a business aspect to what we do.
no, 100%.
And if you don't handle that business properly, you don't get to go up on stage.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. And I
so
think Terry says it that show business is two words. And very much the business side of things is what enables you to do the show side of things. So, yeah.
yeah.
We have coming up this weekend is the Let's Get Unhypnotized conference. Now, this is a virtual conference. And again, Sean and Melanie were guests on the Hypnosis Heals podcast.
Yep. I had an excellent discussion with Sean and Melanie. They have lots of plans, lots of things in the works as well. But this conference here, I think, again, you're getting into mid-November. You're getting into where the weather kind of may or may not, and you don't really know. So travel may not necessarily be as easy. Great time to have an online conference.
Yeah,
2 days of action-packed speakers, and I'm looking at the list, and I'm seeing all the faces, all these people that I know and I've met at Hypnothoughts, or met through the Hypnosis Hero podcast, or met at the Performing Hypnosis Summit, And then I see a couple that I haven't met yet, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'll get a chance to see them,
Mm.
see what they're all about. And again, when you have a virtual conference, if you have access to the recordings, uh, you have information that you can always go back to. You need a
Yes.
refresher on something. Like I'm looking at Dr. Jody and Cormac there. If they're talking about trauma and parts of their workshop that they had just finished at Mid America, uh, that's gold.
Yeah.
You have Cheryl Ellman. I mean, right there is gold. And then I don't know, a couple three guys that are kind of in the bottom corner there. I kind of wonder about them.
In the
One of them
Nordic.
looks familiar.
It's really interesting because they're bringing the stage element to a virtual conference as well. So that's going to be really interesting how that is developed and delivered. So I'm really excited for that. To be fair,
Yeah, no, it should be, like I said, it should be an absolutely excellent conference.
yeah,
Uh, and yeah, looking forward to seeing how it develops and how things pan out. And the one thing I will say about the Hypnosis Education Association is they are an association. They are not like NGH or some HMI, like some of the bigger schools and guilds and whatnot. They cross all boundaries. They come from all different backgrounds, and it is a melting pot. And sometimes when you're thinking education, that's not a bad thing, because it's very easy to get locked into a silo of we do it this way because that's the way we were all taught.
yeah.
uh, it's good to get out and find new ways to do the old job better.
And speaking with Sean and Melanie at many conferences now, they're authentic. They are the real deal. They know what they're doing, especially with the hypno biz in a box. They understand the business side of things as well. They it's a great organization to get involved with if you're serious about your hypnosis.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We got to get like a stamp icon or something like that. 100% recommend.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Coming up as well, we've got the UK Hypnosis Conference, which is coming up in middle of November. We'll bring some more details of that on next week's show. But yeah, that's looking brilliant. And the closing keynote for the UK Hypnosis Conference is going to be none other than Scott Sandlin.
And the first time I ever heard of Scott uh, was actually it predates Hypno Thoughts as a conference. Hypno Thoughts was still a chat room, uh, just basic chat back and forth.
Yeah.
And that was the first connecting point. And then he was starting off kind of a university that somewhere along the way didn't quite pan out. And then the next thing I know, there's this conference called Hypno Thoughts Live. But I actually took some classes from Scott. So that was my first introduction to him. And again, here is a gentleman that um, knows his stuff. He
Mm.
knows what he wants to do. He is a little bit like me, well, a lot more like me in the sense that he's a tech guy. That's his other uh, genre that he deals with, and has done so very effectively in multiple areas of tech. And like when I sit down and I talk with Scott, uh, even sometimes I have trouble following him. So
Wow.
and that's just a sign of a guy who is out there. He's going after it, but he also realizes that the power of community is important. It is. It
100%.
is. We gotta have a place and a time where we can figure out uh, where we want to go next, what we want to do. But you need ideas. Well, you need to meet people.
Yes. Speaking of good people and community, Brian
Well,
Lane.
he set him up really good there. Brian, hope things are going well for you. When we're done here, I want to. I'm actually going to give you a call on Messenger because we've had a couple of asks about earlier or alternate times for Hypnosis Hero. We're actually surprisingly booked out until the end of February now.
Awesome. That is amazing.
And
I'm
we've got
also,
a few bookings in like March and July, or somewhere in there as well. So yeah, a few people are saying, well, yeah, you're booked out so far already. Let's wait and see. So we'll send out another round of invites. But if you are a hypnotist and you want to be on the Hypnosis Hero podcast, you can get a hold of myself or Brian at the Hypnosis Hero website, hypnosisheropodcast.com.
I'm loving the branding with that. I love how it's evolved. I was looking on the YouTube channel earlier when I was getting last week's show up, and it looks really, really good.
Yeah, again, it's all based on the work that Jim did, in the very beginning when he kind of settled on the name and branding. We replaced the little animated knight guy that's supposed to be the hero with something a little more modern. That most people, when you look at it, they read Hypnosis Hero, they don't see the one little thing that AI missed. Uh, so we don't blame it on AI. We just say it's in honor of the missing man. So,
Yes.
and the man we miss.
Oh, excuse me.
I was going to do that myself.
Oh, there we go. Cool.
So,
That's it for me. Um, yeah.
yeah, we'll say happy Halloween to everybody out there. Be safe out there, and make sure the kids get treats and not tricks and all the good stuff.
Yes.
Until next time, take care, stay well, be awesome.
Be awesome.
Good night, everybody.